I'm just gonna be straight up. What the what the fuck did I just watch? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Doujinshi, and welcome back to another episode of Hentai Reviews, where today we're going to be slipping into something a little bit more thematically relevant. So allow me to get a little bit more well-dressed for the occasion. And now that we're back, I'm a little bit more well-dressed. Why? Because the occasion called for it. Because this episode was so fucked up, I decided to make this I am not doing this fucking okay, full disclosure, elephant in the room. This was messed up. And not in the, like, oh, I'm just not into that sort of fetish. More in the, yeah. So, like and subscribe. Be a part of the family over here, because I had to go through a lot of pain making this video, filming it, and doing the research for over everything that had to go through it, because you guys demand a certain quality, and I am an idiot who will give it to you. Please like and subscribe, because I will not go through this pain alone. That being said, let's go ahead and get into it. You see, today we're going to be doing a review for episode 2 of Sleepless, A Midsummer Night's Dream, running at a total of 16 minutes and 58 seconds, done by the very creative people over at Shoten, with a total of 21 categories, notable of which are job fair, MILF, BDSM, and a surprise 4th category, which is all of the gross ones mixed in together in a lot of different ways. For the trigger warning that I will give solely for the fact that I have never given one before in my life, but I feel like I need to, this was worse than Boku no Piku. Let that fucking sink in. Scat, piss, sounding, genetic modification in some standard portions of it, dismemberment in certain sections of it, alongside stomach deformation in a very unflattering way. I don't know how to put that without sounding like I'm into it. So, we all agree we're adults here. Let's move on. We will be starting off with plot synopsis. I know I had a formula before. I don't know what I was going for with the formula, but we're not doing it right now. This is a very special case, and I feel like I need to bear in mind what fucking happens in this. I don't need to read my goddamn script because it's burned in. Are we aware? Good. Okay, let's get into this. You see, we start off with where the main character, I don't remember his name because that was not the most prevalent thing that came up in this video. We start off with the main character and the daughter of the owner of this mysterious house that also has a white door that people are not supposed to go into. That will become horrifyingly relevant later. What happens is the main character decides he wants to help out. The daughter then asks the main character for something to drink. He is a tutor. He does not get drinks. Waiters are not things that can just be manifested out of nowhere. It is rude to assume they can. You see, she pulls out a fucking tube full of, I'm gonna go ahead and say boba, because it's fucking tapioca balls and then liquid inside of it. Now, you would expect her to immediately be like, oh, and then just squirt all of it directly into her mouth. You think that sounds fucking dirty out of context? Wait till we finish the goddamn thing. Calm. I'm a redhead. I am not supposed to be fucking angry like this all the time. Do not feed into the stereotypes. We're cool? Chill vibes. She puts the tube with tapioca directly into his pee hole and then begins to fill up his balls with it, to which case he then expunges it from his body. Yeah, there was a trigger warning in the beginning for a reason. She gets her protein into her food, and then the maid shows up. And you know why I showed up in the beginning with a banana costume and a fudge pop? She decides she wants something to eat. So, he obliges and helps. The maid shows up with a banana. The maid uses the banana in a very creative way, which shows the fact that whoever wrote this, or if there was a doujin prior to making this hentai, they don't understand that bananas crumple incredibly easily and are not exactly known for their sturdiness. But if they weren't, this would be worse. So, fair warning. And then the man helps push the banana into the creative place more. And the daughter has a cup, to which case catches it. There are 2 girls and a cup. Mix in some bananas and the leftovers from a male during mating season, and you have the worst chocolate sundae you can ever imagine. I have never been demonetized on this channel through the grace of God himself, and I feel like that is about to change. Like and subscribe, or I will devolve into ℍ𝔼ℕ𝕋𝔸𝕀 and then run out and become monkey and never deal with this ever again. To which case, it ends there. And then he wakes back up in the middle of a dream. And then decides, there is no rules in life and I am ungovernable. To which case, he then goes into the door that he's not supposed to, finds a lab full of tubes that contain various different organs of various makes and models depending on sexuality, gender, and size, not to mention pigmentation in few different places. He says, wow, this is weird. Okay then, goes right back upstairs and then runs into the daughter again, who is naked and waiting for him. She then does a very vanilla version of sex and then continues forward to her showing off a spray that was used in the prior episode to make a aphrodisiac version of a spray of, perfume. She sprays it on him, and then he arrives until he goes into a coma for 3 days, to which case he then wakes up with several new things about him. Number 1, he is going at it with the mom, passes out again, wakes back up to reveal he has a very cartoonish appropriation of an African-American genitalia, that being cartoonishly long and improbable. And they use it like a Capri Sun. I will not go further into details. And then, as everything gets to the worst it could be for him, as he's strapped down, unable to move, and being fed on like a mosquito, another tutor shows up, and the cycle continues. Now we move on to the section where I like to talk about the animation. Why am I deciding to talk about the animation when there is clearly more prevalent things that happen in this particular episode? Because I sure would like to focus on something else that isn't something that can be scarred into your brain if you watch it at any age younger than what I am. 21 is not old enough for this stuff. I would rather not be safe for life than adulthood. I would say the animation in this is something that never caught my eye, and as a matter of fact pulled me away from the experience, thank Christ, so that I could then be shown that this is, as a matter of fact, a 4 out of 10 when it comes to animation. I am not putting it on the back because I don't feel like putting that much effort into this, except for my rants and the skits that I did in the very beginning. Please, God, forgive me for watching this. The animation was not that great, below average, 4 out of 10. And now finally what you guys have been wondering about the entire time, the quote-unquote plot, otherwise known as the scenes that everybody is here for, especially the people out there who are sick fucks that think this is a good thing to do. Now, why am I not writing the numbers up on the back of the screen like I normally do so I can give you your precious sauce? You see, No. I do not want to put that up there. There is no definable area where there is considered sauce in this. As a matter of fact, there is about one holistic scene that actually has sauce. And the rest of it is in a gray limbo area where I would like to firmly say, I don't know. Is it fucked up for the sake of being fucked up? Is it an actual fetish? I refuse to look into either of those. The fact that it's a tag on here, yes, one of the grosser tags that are on here, is a 4-letter word that starts with C-S-S. It starts with S, and it rhymes with cat. Now, why don't I put it up there? Sometimes fetishes stand outside of the concepts of sex and do not have the ability to be placed in it because something is viewed as sexual to one person as it is not to another person. People may be considered rubbing your hands against somebody in a very sexual manner to be a form of sex itself. Now, if there is no definable penetration, then there is no definable way of describing where sex is, as anything can be described as it as long as somebody finds arousal in it. This, I found no arousal in at any point. I'm into some weird stuff. None of these are it. So, there are 2 scenes in here that I could loosely classify them on. One is the first half of the episode, the other is the second half. Both of them are bad. I'm not going to rate them. As a matter of fact, the plot, I clearly stated in my book and notes as a what the fuck out of 10. The actual plot is also a what the fuck out of 10. The animation, 4 out of 10. It's not that good. So, my total recommendation for this whole thing is a what the fuck out of 10. I will not be rating it out of all the other ones. It is staying as a what the fuck out of 10. Why can't I rate it like anything else and I can just look past it? Because I can't find where it belongs in anything. It is the equivalent of 1,000 pieces of food in front of you, and then there is a pine cone. You know there are things out there that can eat pine cones. I swear to God, there are different animals out there that can 100% do it. I don't know who they are, and I don't know where they are, but something can eat a pine cone. So it's technically food. I am not putting that in the same room as the steak, though. Are we clear? I'm not even putting it in the same room as fucking peas. Peas are gross, and anybody who defies me on that will be immediately banned from this channel. I make the rules. You won't. I'm just really passionate about this, and I want everybody to know that I don't like peas. Are we clear? Okay, let's move on. Whole thing earns a genuine WTF out of 10. So, let's get into closing remarks. Okay. Closing remarks? I would not recommend the second episode. I would recommend sending this to your friends as a way of torture because it would be very funny. I would also recommend that you like the video and subscribe to the channel so that I may continue to make these horrible videos and then post my either fascination, admiration, or disgust on this channel. Thank you everybody for being here. I have been Dr. Doujinshi, and remember, have a nice day. Don't be a dick, there's too many of them, and wash your fucking hands. Have a nice day. I will see you in the next video that will not be as unpleasant as this one to make. Peace.